Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here, showing you the way real estate should be, and it is everyone's favorite time of the month. That's right, real estate market statistics time. These statistics are for the Dayton Metro area for October 2023. Now, I do need to go over how these stats get put together. So basically, we pull these from the MLS every month, at the end of the month. So we're on October, so we are looking at September stats. Couple things to keep in mind is these September stats are based on August and July contracts, especially the closed sales numbers. So you have to keep that in mind as we're going through these. There has been a bit of a market shift here, which if you've been watching previous videos, you know that I have said that anecdotally it does look like there's some changes coming down the pike. And this is the second month that I have seen this sort of trend. And what happens is 1 month, I usually wait to see if it's a blip or not. If there's 2 months in a row, then we can start to think that maybe there is a new trend developing. But I will get into that with these numbers. The other thing to know about these stats is that we are comparing year over year. So we are looking at September 2023 primarily compared to September 2022. We do that because there is a natural ebb and flow in the real estate cycle, typically based around the school year and also the seasons. So beginning of the year, school starts, number of homes for sale tends to naturally drop. So I do look at month to month, but not as much as year to year. Although I will say I have been looking a little bit more at month to month just because the market has been whipsawing around so much, and I will get into why that is and how long that is going to be hanging around. So that's how we get these stats. If you want to follow along with this report, you can do so. There's a link in the description below for a place to contact us, and there's also a link there to download this report. So without further ado, let's dive in. Now, I have one note on the Dayton Metro stats here, and I touched on it last month. So the Cincinnati MLS got hacked a few months back. Dayton MLS, being very friendly, allowed the Cincinnati realtors to list their homes on the Dayton MLS for free because, you know, that's how we distribute it out to a bunch of different places. That's how we schedule showings, etc., etc. The problem is that changed the Dayton Metro results. Now, not so much Montgomery County, Preble County, Warren, a little bit, not too much, you know, Greene County. Didn't affect those too much, but down, you know, around like Hamilton and North Cincinnati, the Dayton MLS will usually have a few listings down there, but once the Cincinnati folks were allowed to list, it basically skewed the numbers by 300 houses in the normal Dayton area. The other problem is there was a lot more listings popping up in Cincinnati. There will be some Cincinnati listings on the Dayton MLS, but by and large, those go on the Cincinnati one. So the problem is when you see people reporting on statistics, including our very own well-loved Dayton Realtors, their stats do not reflect that flood of new listings from Cincinnati. So what I have tried to do, I have basically looked through the histories, I've seen kind of what the average numbers are, give or take a little bit, and have tried to adjust these numbers to keep them in line with what the listings should be. Because again, if we're comparing year over year, all of those Cincinnati realtors were not listing in the Dayton MLS, which is where I pull all of these from. So if you see that these numbers are different than what the Dayton realtors are listing or what other realtors talk about, know it is because they're not paying attention to their statistics, and they are basically just running a port and going with it. And the reason I know this is so important is because when I first pulled these numbers, it basically looked like we had added another 1,000 homes for sale, basically doubling the inventory that we had. Naturally, my alarm bell started going off, and I investigated, and that's when I found all of these non-Dayton MLS members were posting listings in like Kentucky, Hocking Hills, along the Ohio River, which do not normally show up in the Dayton MLS and are not applicable to what the home market is doing in the Dayton area. So basically at that point, I went through, I adjusted, I figured out where to do. I do take listings in Hamilton to an account because they are normally a part of the Dayton MLS. But so if you see a discrepancy, that is why. Now, I do want to point out our overall trajectory here. So let's dive into these Dayton Metro statistics. So total number of closed sales is down 24.9% from 1,506 to 1,131. Median sales price is up 9.8% from $205,000 to $225,000. Average sales price is up 5.5% from $237,196 to $250,171. Median percentage of original list price is holding steady still, 0.9% change, 100%. Median time to contract is down 14.6% to 41 days. It's held pretty steady at 41 days for, I think, 5 or 6 months now. Total number of new listings is down 5.1% to 1,471, and total active inventory is down 5.9% to 1,587. The doom and gloom section, which is foreclosures and short sales. So foreclosures are up 166.7% to 16, and there's a total of 0 short sales. So I do want to point out our trajectory here. So September 2022, very quiet. We had a peak last year, it was a little earlier. So it was like May, June was the previous peak in 2022. Prices fell all the way down to $189,950 in January. And then prices built back up to a brand new high of $239,000 in July. Since then, prices have slid about $15,000. So July 2023, we had a peak of $239,900. September, we're down to $225,000, which again is a slide. The other thing I do want to touch on here is we have added 1,471 new listings, but the total number of closed sales was only 1,131. So that means effectively we added 330, 40-ish homes. If that trend continues, you would expect to see time to contract lengthen and prices start to slide. Normally the time to contract is usually what leads, so we're a little bit of a unique situation that median home price is going down first. Now, I do like to touch on the different price points because a $1 million home sells a little bit different from a $200,000 home. I have sold both. Primarily, the main difference is buyer pool. There's just not as many buyers in that $1 million price category. Now, basically, everything is hanging around like 40 days-ish. So 200 to 250,000 is at 37 days, which is a 19.6% reduction. 150 to 200,000 is a 7% reduction, total of 40. 300 to 400,000 is down 21.2% to 41 days. So that's pretty short. 400 to 600,000 is down 22.4% to 45. 600 to $1 million is down 16.7% to 65. Total number of closed sales across the board is down, but again, that's not too surprising because September 2022 was so quiet. 50 to 100,000 was down 30.9% in 94. 150 to 200,000 was down 29.9% to 220. 200 to 250,000 is down 32.9%, 145. 300 to 400,000 is down 2% to 194. 400 to 600,000 is down 20.3% to 110. And 600 to $1 million was down 2.7% to 36. And there was no $1 million or more homes sold. Total number of new listings, we have a break at $300,000. Basically below $300,000, there's fewer homes getting listed for sale. Above $300,000, there's more homes getting listed. So 50 to 100,000, there was 13.7% fewer homes at 120. 100 to 150,000, there was 23.4% fewer homes at 196. 150 to 200,000, there was 11.5% fewer homes at 278. 200 to 250,000, there's 28% fewer homes, total of 170. 250 to 300,000 was down 9.7% to 167. And 300 to 400,000, this is where the price break happens, was up 17% to 241. 400 to 600,000 was up 26.4% to 163. 600 to $1 million was up 116.2% to 80. So there's twice as many homes listed in that price range as usual. And $1 million or more was up 83.3% to 11. So those are the Dayton stats. So do need to kind of retouch on the median home price versus average home price. If you remember back to your math classes, which I know was probably your favorite, average is you take the price of 5 houses You add it up, you divide it by 5, that gives you the average sales price. Median sales price is a little different though. What median does is you have, let's say, 125 houses for sale. The median point is the price at which there is an equal number of houses priced higher and lower than that point. I personally prefer the median home price. It seems to not move as much as the average sales price does, primarily because if you have a lot of very expensive or very inexpensive homes sell, the average sales price can move significantly. For example, if Tom Brady's house sells, that will move stuff pretty quite a bit. Whereas median sales price is a little bit more stable just with how it is calculated. So what does this look like as boots on the ground conditions for buyers and sellers? Well, we have a few things going on here. So interest rates are obviously high. Currently they are 7 to 7.5%. It does seem that that has calmed the amount of demand slightly. But I wouldn't say that this is a sky is falling situation for sellers, because we are still very close to peak prices and the market is very much teeter-tottering. The overall problem is that inventory is so low that any sort of little shift has outsized impacts on the market. So if a few more homes get listed for sale, that can move the total inventory up enough that we start to see prices come down. If interest rates drop a little bit, we could see if interest rates drop back down into the mid-6s, we could see a ton of buyers come back to the market, which would drive prices higher. So far as buying goes, whenever you have a price decline like this usually means that you're able to, there's more homes to choose from, which anecdotally does seem to be the case for the buyers that I'm currently helping. You're usually not in multiple offer situations, which is also good. The exception is if it is an outstanding home in an outstanding neighborhood at a good price, that is always going to be very high demand. You're more than likely going to be going up against multiple offers. However, the opportunity comes with maybe houses that aren't as well positioned or houses that need a little bit of work. Those are going to be a lot more flexible on pricing. From the seller side, we are still at peak rates, and 41 days is extremely short for the Dayton Metro area. It is not like it was in 2022 early parts where you can basically just, put it out there and you'll have, 10, 15 offers on it. It's not that level of craziness, but it is still an extremely strong market to sell your house. And the thing is I do this every day. I don't really know which way the market's going to go. For the last year, it's basically just kind of been seesawing back and forth. So we had an initial downturn, then interest rates stayed low, the number of buyers came back, prices shot up again, inventory shrank, and then interest rates went up a little bit. Now we're kind of back in the other way here. So, I do this every day. I can't really predict what the next few months is going to be, other than we are probably going to continue to be in this bit of seesaw battle. The good news is, if you are selling your house, you're still going to get an outstanding and phenomenal price. So thank you so much for tuning in for my market stats. If you would like a copy of these stats or to be emailed whenever a new report release happens, you can find those links in the description below. If you'd like to contact me, you can reach me at 937-907-6777. My name is Kyle Sasser, Ashler Home Team. If you would like to have a chat, maybe you have some questions or something like that, that information is in the description below. I would love to help you out. If you have any questions or whatsoever, it's literally my job to answer your questions. So feel free to reach out, raise your hand, ask a question, leave a comment, and I look forward to helping you out however I can. So thank you so much for tuning in again. My name is Kyle Sasser, and I'll talk to you soon.